Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Annetta for a couple years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we're shipping out today on Monday, but like when it was Saturday, it was looking pretty rough. Like my Friday and Saturday was less than like a normal day. It was looking pretty disastrous. It still kind of was, but yesterday, which was Sunday, that's where the bulk of a lot of these sales are. So it's still been rough sailing. All right, so the first thing right here is going to be this. I'm going to take it out of the baggie. It is slightly chipped. It is some kind of Lennox 1999 like bird ceramic. Oh boy, it's just everything's pointy. Trust me, I'm being careful with it. It's very delicate. It's like a cool little bird right here. This ended up selling for $13 plus shipping. Everything's going to be plus shipping, so I'll save us some time right now. This right here is Lorenzo 2 Magnifico board game promos. I don't know what this particular pack is. It's sealed. I got a lot of questions asking throughout like the year or so I had this listed, which pack it was, because all you can see is the front card, and then the back card is just kind of like tier 3 for like when you're playing the game. It's like what stack it goes into, so you can only really see one card. I sent the person a message, like the person that bought this, like, hey, just to let you know, I've been asked a lot of questions about this pack. I don't know like which particular promo pack it is, so if I don't hear anything, it will be shipped out shortly with tracking. This ended up selling for $15, which is pretty good. I've never played that board game. I know it's a pretty good one. It's kind of like in the realm of Agricola and stuff like that, like a more dull like worker placement. Not dull in a bad way, but that's just like how it is. All right, moving along, we have Kings of War. Our cat's making herself a little cave with the blankets over there. She's having a good time. Kings of War, like sample pack right here. So this is going to be like, I think, a miniature game. So there's going to be like a miniature sprue. There's going to be a bunch of little pieces from these throughout these different like fantasy factions. And then there's like some bases. So it's just like a little sample kit. You can open this up. If you like it, you can get more stuff. This sold for $12.37. I got that at an auction. I made a note for $2, so not too bad. Nothing too crazy, but next up is going to be a combo order. We had a pretty good combo order with, or I guess not too crazy. I guess the price was pretty good. It's going to be Alloy, I think like girl fashion clothes magazines. One second, I'm like struggling to grab them. A lot of issues today, I guess. All right, these are from, I want to say the 2008 and 2010, so I'm not sure which one is which. So yeah, it's just going to have a bunch of different fashion and stuff like that. We did really well with all these catalogs that we got from someone. These ended up selling for $32.98 for the pair. So that's pretty good. All right, next up is a card game. I don't know anything about it. Star of the Guardian starter deck. So I get dead card game stuff all the time. I usually buy it in like bulk or just piles of this stuff. This ended up selling for $7.50. So yeah, it's going to be some kind of like space or fantasy card game. I don't know, it looks pretty cool. It wasn't too expensive for the person to buy and try out. It's a starter deck. All right, moving along, we have a lot of 12 of these Dungeons & Dragons miniature cards only. So these are just the cards. These are going to have like all the rules and stats for the particular figures. I don't have the figures. The miniatures are worth a lot more, and if you pair them up, they're worth a lot. This ended up selling for $8.99. I loaded them up by the particular expansion pack that they came in. All right, next up is another board game promo right here. It's going to be called Komet. Let me find it. I'm having issues, I guess, today. Moving along. I know it's here. I didn't forget it. Just have a lot of like flat stuff, so I kept it all in one pile so it doesn't get bent. So these are 4 little promo like tokens and pieces for the Komet board game. I think you're playing like an Egyptian war miniature game. I've never played it. I've been recommended it by people in real life, and then also like when I'm on these board game websites, it's always trying to get me to play it, but it's like a competitive game. I don't have anyone to play like a competitive territory control game, but a lot of people like this one. This ended up selling for $8.99 just for like additional expansion promo tokens. Sorry, that sold for $22.50, not $8.99. That was the D&D cards right there. All right, moving along, we have an RPG book right here. This one, it's called Crace Sutherland's. Yeah, right there, Crace Sutherland's. Sorry, Southlands. Jeez, I'm all over the place today. This is just like an RPG book. Like we got a bunch of these like hipster ones. I don't know too much about this particular one, but we got a bunch of them. This ended up selling for $10.12. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. We have a lot to do today. Usually Mondays are like extremely hectic for me, so I'm all in my head basically the whole day's already planned out, and it's always like rush. Because it's 3 days of shipping. I have a bunch of stuff to list. I have to carry a bunch of bins from the storage unit to here. It's always frantic. Mondays are always like my least favorite. All right, this is The Evil Dead. This particular DVD sold for $9.74. We get like a medium amount of DVDs. We do like selling physical media, so people do like horror stuff, so that's pretty cool. All right, next up is a 50% Chinese people, the big grasslands. I think these are going to be some Indian miniatures right here, one at 72 scale, so it's 50% complete. That doesn't matter. People still will want them. It says 12 figures, 8 horses instead of 24 and 16. This ended up selling for $12, so even though it's like parted out, it's still pretty good. All right, next up is going to be some chit tokens right here. There's 630 of these white little chits. These are for like military games. People can use like Sharpie or pen to write down like their little stats of their tanks or the planes or ships or infantry for those like boxed like military games. So they can basically replace any pieces that go missing, because these are very easy. You can tell by the size that these can go missing pretty easily. That ended up selling for $13.49. All right, next up is going to be a lot of 24 dice for Monster Apocalypse, the Privateer Press version. These are all the dice that you roll, the red, blue, and white dice for like attacks, powers, and defense. This is for their original game where you would buy collectible booster packs, and then each monster and stuff had different amount of dice that they would roll. I have another set of 24. 24 is what you get in a starter pack. This sold for $9, and I relisted another set. It might be my last set, not this one, but the next one. All right, moving along, we have a playmats. Playmats are pretty cool when they sell. I like using playmats for board games. This is the Brambles, a solo card game. I haven't heard of this one or played this one. Right there, it looks like they mentioned in the title that it's a solo card game right there. So you have like some hexes up there. These are pretty cool to just lay out on the table. Cards and stuff don't shuffle as much. It kind of gets you into the mood of playing the game. Sometimes board games and playmats are a pain to store, but this one is actually reasonable. They do have tubes that you can like put them in. Sometimes playmats are really big. Like we have some big board game playmats, and those ones are the unwieldy, cumbersome ones. That one's fine. That one sold for $15. All right, moving along, we have This Week in Miami. This is a magazine from 1968. That's crazy. That's pretty cool. It's like an older item. This is to a repeat buyer, so they bought stuff from us before. I think they sent some offers, and then we ended up taking it. All right, next up we have a lot of 17 Lord of the Rings Risk. These are like the red and black figures. These are going to be the troll figures. I don't know if they denote 3 infantry or 5 in the particular Lord of the Rings Risk. Lord of the Rings Risk stuff is really good if you can find it. Just these figures alone sold for $7. I think before the channel we had some incomplete Risk, like different games and Risks, and they did pretty well even as incomplete. All right, next up is plain old green transparent like a container. This has like a lot of different slots. One side has 3. It's like double sided. The other side, it looks like it has 12. I use these things for like board game components and stuff. So you can take all the pieces, put them in here, and then when you play the game, you set it out, you open it up. It's much better than like baggies that you have to like grab in, close them up. Baggies are good for storing, but they're not good for grabbing the pieces to play. So that's why I usually use these for board games. I'm not sure if that's what the person's going to use this for. This is like a generic storage container. I have so many storage containers. Sometimes I just list the ones I'm not using. I have like a huge pile for when we do get new board games to be able to, if the size makes sense to put into the box and the little cardboard tokens fit in there, I will use them. All right, next up is going to be, I think it's like a manga, Japanese one. I don't know anything about this one. We got a bunch of this stuff. It says like SSS special right here. So there's the front, I think, and then there's the back. This is like a hardcover Yun Kuga Shinshokan. I think it's from 1994. At least that's what that like rip sticker said. This went to a repeat buyer. This sold for $33.74. I don't remember where I got that particular one from. All right, moving along, because I got anime and manga stuff from like a couple different people. This is a Dungeon Master's screen for the Hero System Pulp RPG. I just did like Google reverse image. So this particular screen is going to fold out, and the Dungeon Master will be able to see a bunch of like different stats and stuff useful, so they don't have to check the rule book. Also, they get to write down stuff behind the screen so the players don't know. Really useful tool. I love picking up Dungeon Master screens, especially like hipster ones like that, because when someone wants it, they want it to match their game. They want to have the rules for their particular game. Even generic ones do good sometimes. That one sold for $21.26. All right, moving along, we have a Cherished Teddy. I've talked about these before. These give me like, they were just, we bought a bunch. We bought like, I want to say like 400, 500, or 600 for like $1.25 way back when we started. It was one of our first big bulk buys. I've listed most of them. We've sold probably more than half. I haven't actually really checked. We've made money on all of them, but boy, were they a pain. This one ended up, this right here, I guess it's in the box. It's going to be like a Halloween trick-or-treat bag, and on the front, there's like a bear on it. This sold for $7.50. So I do get happy to sell them, but I don't know, it's just so much work. Something about that just gives me like a mental block. I would never do those again, even though we did well with them. All right, moving along, we have a set of 2 Boba Fett figures right here. Just little toys. These are like 2.5 inches. They're probably, I don't know if they're McDonald's. No, they're not. They're just random plastic toys. Boba Fett from Star Wars, that is $8. So I do, I do still have a picture of Annette and I in my old bedroom where we were organizing all the cherished teddies. I'm not going to post it, but oh man, it's just, that was a good eBay history for her and I. Good times, I guess. All right. Sorry, that was just rambling right now. All right, next up is Reign of Discordia. Let's see, Discordia. There you go. I need a little bit more energy. I'm on like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. This ended up selling for $10. I wanted to get a head start just in case if I couldn't find items at the storage unit and stuff like that. That's a hipster RPG. It looks pretty cool. I don't know anything about it. All right, next up is a cross stitch right here. It's a little cafe. It looks like it's gonna be like maybe like a necklace or just like a little hanging thing or a little piece of thing you put on the wall. These counted cross stitch stuff have always done well for us. We haven't found any in a long, long time, but this is probably like our first big niche item. We used to like sell a lot of this stuff. I'm talking about like the first 3 or 6 months on eBay ever. We did really well. So that small one sold for $9. It's like a cute little one. All right, next up, this is going to be a map of, let's see, 2009 London Railways electric map right here. I think Annetta got these from like a website a long, long time ago, like before she knew me, I think. This ended up selling for $12.19. Sorry, I don't really want to like mess it up too much. I try to show you the best I can. So $12.99 for that. And then moving along, we have an empty tin, Doral Across America. Like, is this like a cookie tin? I'm going to assume this is some kind of like cookie tin right here. So it's pretty cool storage that someone's going to use. Pretty clean right there. I do like selling tins. They haven't done as well recently as they used to for us, but this ended up selling for $13.99. I mean, most of mine are listed. I have like one small bin left. I can't get that in right now. I'll just move that along. All right, we're almost done, I think. Yeah, we are almost done. Two more items left. Midnight Rescue. So like an old floppy disk game right here. So it has like I think the installation discs 1 and 2 right here. It's like 5 1/4 inch. And then like the little reference and then the key bindings right here. Pretty cool. I was listing some storage containers, like kind of like empty tins, but a little bit older than this. I opened one up and there was a bunch of different floppy disk games. So I was like, okay, I guess that's what I'm listing. So I listed them, I think on Thursday or Friday. This is the first like set that sold. It sold for $15. And then the last thing is I'm not even fully sure what these are. Annetta got like a auction lot a long time ago. It was in like a box. I thought it was like our stuff. So when I opened up the box, I was like, oh, this is a bunch of like train bits and pieces. There was other toys. It was honestly, it looked like a random like mystery box that she probably got at an auction, probably really cheap because that she got them in like 2021 or something like that. So Commodore Vanderbilt, this is like a now what a shell. I think some other people were talking about. So yeah, I was very like just doing as many keywords as I could for what other people were online. So I'm not sure if like you put this on the base for other trains. That's what I'm assuming it is, or if this is like a bit or piece that they're gonna like take apart and like mash it up with another one. I'm not too sure on that, but I did list like that whole box of, like I said, random stuff that she got a long time ago. All right, that's everything. We didn't do too much on the weekend. We finished up the Fighting Fantasy book, and then we basically kind of like lazied out for the weekend. I mean, we did some cooking and some chores, but yeah, nothing too fancy. I played some Gloomhaven. I think Annetta also played a couple of computer games. I can't think of them right now, but other than that, it's just basic stuff like laundry. And here we are today on Monday. Like I said, I'm frantic. Got to get all this shipped out. Mondays are always lots to do. All right, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Have a good one.